Matt Murdock went to hell and back to save the lives of his friends and loved ones, and all it cost him was his very memory. What'll happen next? Well, let's hop into the pages of Daredevil issue number 1, the grand kickoff to the brand new SALADIN AHMED era of The Man Without Fear. Let's hop on in together and find out what happens next, shall we? So then, picking up sometime after the end of the previous run, we check back on in with Father Matt Murdock. You'll remember that Daredevil had died in his battle against the Beast and the Wild, only to be resurrected via mysterious, still yet to properly be explained means. Still though, for what it's worth, Matt might actually win the award for happiest amnesiac. Him and another priest, Father Javi, have started up the St. Nicholas Youth Home. Basically, it's an orphanage for all the hard luck kids that all the other organizations have lost faith on, but not Matt, never Matt. He might not have his memories, but he's still every bit the good, decent dude we remember. In fact, St. Nicholas is doing so good right now, it's actually starting to ruffle the feathers of some of the other orphanage heads and church leaders. Mainly because Matt and Javi are doing all of this independently without any real oversight. Now you might be asking yourself, how the hell is that possible? Well, it seems that St. Nicholas, or to be more exact, Matt, have a mysterious wealthy benefactor who keeps pumping money into the place. Javi says that Matt may very well have found his calling in this line of work. He understands the kids here better than just about anyone else because he knows exactly what it's like to get beaten around and stepped on by an uncaring world only to get back up and keep on fighting. And despite being a cloth, Matt actually gets lots of opportunities to continue to kick ass for the Lord, like when one of the girls he's taken in's scummy pimp boyfriend comes on over trying to get her back. Matt swings into action and ends up accessing some of his old memories as Daredevil, allowing him an access to his superhuman combat skills, a fact of which the children think is absolutely awesome, but Matt himself is a lot more troubled by. Father Matt says that he likes to believe that his hands in this situation are being directed by Almighty God, but still he sees snapshots of a life he can't remember and, well, the face of the devil staring back at him. And wouldn't you know it, Matt has more than one guardian devil at the moment, as Elektra still stops by the orphanage every so often to check on him and also pump money into it as well. Actually, it's more than money too. Elektra says that she's actually had to bribe and threaten a lot of city officials just to keep Matt's little dream afloat, but she honestly doesn't know what else to do for him at the moment. Much like at the end of the Zdarsky series, Elektra loves Matt so much, but at the same time she's afraid to wake him up to his old life. After all, if he was brought back, maybe this is his chance at starting over and creating a brand new, happier, more simple life for himself, and well, that's not just the sort of gift horse you look in the mouth now, is it? Of course, it's not just Elektra who has taken a particular interest in kindly old Father Murdock right now, as Elektra is approached by what seems to be, well, an actual real deal satanic devil. One who possesses her body as a chance to get closer to Matt himself. Matt awakes in the night to see Elektra having snuck into his room. Hats off to the dialogue here in this scene, because in his internal monologue, Matt talks about being able to feel the evil, to hear the ill intent in the air, but as if betrayed by a higher power, when he smells Elektra, all he can remember is his lost love. Again, for Elektra, it somehow always comes back to smells, and speaking of Elektra, she actually manages to fight against the possession just long enough to give Matt the upper hand and allow him to escape. Though, now that the cat is officially out of the bag, Father Matt isn't going to stop until the devil gets his due. He ends up making a makeshift mask, not unlike the one he wore in the Frank Miller days before eventually taking to the rooftops to give chase after Elektra. As Matt says, his mind may have forgotten how to move like this, but his muscle memory is still as good as it's ever been. In fact, that muscle memory leads to exactly where Elektra and her demonic hijacker have holed up. Matt fights valiantly against this evil entity, but it's made abundantly clear that beating up a bunch of would-be tough guys and fighting an actual evil demonic force is basically night and day. However, when the old tricks don't work anymore, Matt reaches in his pocket and pulls out a new one, by which I mean his crucifix. Matt starts conducting a full-on exorcism of Elektra, and it actually ends up working. Not only does he banish the demon from her body, but in its last few seconds of life, we can see that under its coat, this devil was actually wearing Daredevil's own original yellow costume before saying that the others will be much stronger than him. That's foreboding. If nothing else, Matt and Elektra are finally able to have a real reconciliation right now, and obviously they're both pretty confused about their next course of action. Obviously, Matt, being a man of faith, assumes that if he has been returned to life when so many others haven't, that must be because God has a plan for him, some sort of mission that that has yet to reveal itself. Elektra is obviously happier to being that much closer to getting the old Matt she loves back, but at the same time, let's not forget everything went to hell quite literally last time, when Matt thought he had some holy mission to follow, so when it looks like history is repeating itself all over again, the woman without fear has, well, reason to fear. Also, just because Matt is slowly but surely beginning to piece back his memories doesn't mean he remembers everything, and it doesn't mean he starts shirking his responsibility to the kids in St. Nicholas. In fact, we see him spend his whole day doing his regular job with the kids before eventually sneaking out at night to drape himself in the skin of the devil once more, something that feels so wrong and yet at the same time so right to Father Matt. Here's the thing though, Matt actually can't go out on the streets and fight crime just yet because at that very moment he hears the cops pulling up to his place looking for him. But how? But why, you might be asking? Well, I guess we'll have to pick up the next issue if we want to find out. And so that was Daredevil issue number 1, everybody. An issue that really did not have an easy task having to follow up Chip Zdarsky's modern classic, but credit where credit is due, SALADIN AHMED has been in this position more than a couple times over his career, and he definitely comes out swinging. In fact, he certainly seems to enjoy the idea that because most people think this series isn't going to measure up to the previous one, that he now has a blank check to get weird and explore other ideas that he might not ever get the chance to ever again. Like, yeah, sure, let's make Matt a priest legitimately, why not? He's had lots of other jobs outside lawyer. And it also makes the whole peaceful man of faith versus violent vigilante internal strife that's always been core to Daredevil even more direct. So far, this series also looks to be going into a more mystical, magical monsters and demons sort of story, which again, certainly something Daredevil has done in the past, but something he hasn't done in a while, and something that would be the polar opposite of the Zdarsky years. It gets even more interesting too if what they're implying seems to pan out, and that is these devils that Matt is fighting are actually his own personal demons, or devils who have modeled themselves after the Man Without Fear. Either way, pretty good setup, and I'm definitely interested enough to keep seeing where it goes from here. Overall, I would give this one an 8 out of 10, and I hope the rest of the series can continue to impress. Hey there everyone, it's your old pal Cape Joel again, thanking you so much for watching to the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, why not check out my Amazon link down in the description. Yes, that's right, the Cape Joel channel officially has its own Amazon storefront now. You can pick up a comic or anything else for that matter, and if you did, you'd really be helping me in the channel. So with that out of the way everyone, I will see you again next time. Bye-bye.